So, for the last few years, people have been watching Blue Ivy from afar. And while guys have previously noticed that there's something off about her, they just brushed off her quiet and reserved nature as just a phase. However, lately, the internet has gradually been noticing a pattern in her tendencies, and now guys are worried because her body language apparently has them terrified. Like, what is really going on with Blue Ivy behind closed doors? Is she being forced into a lifestyle she doesn't want by Jay Z and Beyonce? Child. I even heard that her grandfather Matthew Knowles is worried that they are taking it too far with Blue. But let's just get into why people believe this will not end well. Guys, before we even dive into the specific moments that have everyone spiraling, you have to realize that this isn't just about a teenager being moody. We are talking about a teenager reportedly forced into a high-stakes corporate game she never asked to play, and the cracks have started to show. And I'm talking about the cracks showing up in literally everything. For starters, when Blue stepped out for the premiere of Mufasa when she was just 12, the comment sections were flooded with people saying she looked incredibly tense, stiff, and completely detached from the glamour of it all. At the time, fans criticized Blue's look, branding her dress wildly inappropriate for a 12-year-old, and a lot of people actually accused Beyonce and Jay Z of over-sexualizing Blue by allowing her to wear the strapless gown and makeup, suggesting that they were dressing her like she was a grown woman. But it wasn't just the outfit that had people talking, by the way. Remember at the time, Jay Z had also just been hit with a lawsuit involving a 13-year-old, and instead of being given time to process the shock of what was going on with her father, as a 12-year-old, Blue Ivy had no choice but go out in front of a global audience and smile for the cameras. Which is why there were people who said that they wouldn't be surprised if Beyonce orchestrated the entire situation to shift the conversation. Basically, instead of keeping the family low profile or giving a 12-year-old kid a second to process the heavy, disturbing media circus surrounding her dad, Blue Ivy was suddenly placed front and center, pushed out into a global spotlight, and told to smile for the flashing cameras, all glammed up looking like an adult. In fact, there were allegations that they used Blue's styling as bait because they knew a dramatic, headline-grabbing fashion choice would throw the internet into a frenzy and completely shift the conversation away from Jay Z's legal drama. According to insiders, this is why the entire time they were doing the Mufasa tour, Blue's body language was just off. And to a lot of people, this is when they started to notice that things won't end well with Blue. Now, moving on. Y'all remember when Blue Ivy first got on that Renaissance stage with Beyonce? She literally had to be perfect. Every step was analyzed, rehearsed for weeks, and they had to make sure she was absolutely perfect. Again, all these tours that she has been doing with her mom since then have had people pinpointing a couple of tendencies here and there that are supposedly sus. Apparently, it's like Blue is never allowed to be herself, and anyone who is keen enough can notice that she's literally screaming for help. Well, the thing that made people conclude that Blue is definitely terrified was when she made her debut at the Met Gala. She was wearing this dramatic, cream-colored structured Balenciaga gown, completely glammed up, but despite all the glam, people said that she looked absolutely frozen, completely stiff, and almost mechanical as she walked up the stairs. Blue also kept these dark, blacked-out shades on practically the entire time, even though there were several requests for her to remove them, and to some people, this was not coincidental. And to think that Beyonce had to break several rules just for Blue to appear at the Met. First of all, there's how they literally broke the age rule and allowed Blue to attend at just 14, when it was previously made very clear that the event is not appropriate for people who are below the age of 18. Like, why was it so urgent to force her onto a carpet she isn't even technically old enough to stand on? In addition, there's also the fact that if an attendee is not in the guest list, they have to pay $100,000 to attend. But it's not that simple because at the Met Gala, money doesn't actually buy you a seat. Even if you have the cash, you still have to be approved by Anna Wintour, meaning for Beyonce to bring Blue Ivy, she didn't just have to open the checkbook, she had to use her massive industry leverage to rewrite the rulebook. So, not only was Blue just 14, but they also had to part with a large amount of money for her to attend. To make matters worse, they had Blue in Balenciaga, the same brand that was called out for having a campaign that featured young kids holding plush teddy bear bags, dressed in leather harnesses, studded collars, and BDSM-style fetish gear. Child, these are just some of the things that have made people conclude that it definitely won't end well with Blue. But if you thought her public appearances were worrying, wait until I tell you what she allegedly has to go through behind closed doors. doors. See, there have been reports alleging that while Blue Ivy isn't allowed to have public social media accounts, she has secret pseudo-accounts where she follows all the other cool teens and secretly wishes she was like them. You will never see Blue hopping on a random TikTok trend or doing a casual live stream from her bedroom. But apparently, this is something she would really love to do, but her parents don't allow it. Something else is that normal kids get to spend their summer breaks hanging out at the pool or going to camp. But Blue is expected to adapt to her parents' grueling global schedules. From traveling on massive world tours to sitting through corporate brand alignments, her lifestyle is essentially structured like a full-time job. Actually, insiders have been saying that Blue is bored to tears with the business meetings and the professionalism required by Jay Z and Bey, and she just wishes that she could be herself and reflect her true personality. Oh, by the way, rumor also has it that anyone entering her inner circle, and their parents, has to navigate strict non-disclosure agreements and heavy boundary rules. And reportedly, Blue is also tired of this because it's impossible to have a regular, carefree friendship when everyone around you has to sign a legal document just to hang out in your living room. And just so you understand how serious things could be, word on the street is that even her grandfather Matthew is allegedly starting to worry that Beyonce and Jay Z are taking things entirely too far with Blue Ivy. We are talking about Matthew Knowles. This is the man who literally ran a pop star boot camp for DC. He's the architect of the ultimate, relentless, no days off celebrity work ethic who made a young Beyonce run miles while singing to build up her stamina. If that man, the king of strict industry discipline, is reportedly looking at how Blue is being pushed into the spotlight and saying, "Hey, this is too much," then something behind closed doors has to be seriously off. Well, people online are pointing out that Matthew knows better than anyone exactly what this industry can do to a young star. He saw the dark side of fame firsthand. He managed the grueling rise to the top, and he knows the exact toll it takes on one's mental and physical well-being. The theory circulating right now is that he sees the history repeating itself, but at an even more dangerous level with Blue. So, if the man who literally engineered the Carter Knowles empire is allegedly worrying about his granddaughter being used as a high-fashion shield, then the theories about her terrified body language aren't just a reach anymore. It's starting to look like a warning sign from inside the house. Also, don't forget how Beyonce kept on insisting that Blue was ready when they attended the Met together.
Now, B, it's been 10 years.
10 years.
How does it feel being back?
It feels surreal because my daughter's here.
And Blue looks so beautiful.
She looks so beautiful. This is it's incredible to be able to share it with her, and I think she looks so incredible.
She looks so beautiful. I'm like, we could learn some red carpet tips from Blue.
Absolutely.
The way she's posing, I'm like,
she was ready.
She was ready.
Ready for what, though? Ready to have millions of strangers critique her dance moves? Ready to be hyper-sexualized by the media in custom, strapless gowns before she's even legally old enough to drive? Or is she ready to be a human shield for her family's multi-billion-dollar brand? Guys, at the end of the day, when you wrap your head around that level of restriction, it completely changes how you look at Blue's stiff posture and terrified look. According to most fans, Blue isn't just dealing with typical teen moodiness. She's exhausted from playing a character in her parents' empire. And if they are not careful, this will definitely not end well. Yes, I know that there are those who think that she's just disciplined, polished, and classy, and that there's absolutely nothing wrong with Blue and how she's being raised. But you know what? I'd love to know what you think. Disciplined and classy, or a ticking time bomb? Drop those thoughts in the comments section below.